police dramas. He'll curse the foxes when they tip over his dustbins, and shout abuse at the jets when they come screaming low over the chimney pots. But he never ever complains about his lot in life. Best of all, he never pretends to be someone he isn't. And what's more, he doesn't want me to be anyone I'm not. I like that in him. I always have. That's maybe why I've spent so many of my school holidays with him down on the farm in Devon. Sometimes he'll tell me how things were when he was young. He doesn't say things were better then, or worse. He just talks about how they were. I think it's because he loves to remember. Grandpa loves his swallows. We'd often watch them together as they skimmed low over the fields, and he'd shake his head in wonder. He once told me why it was that he loved swallows so much. That was when he first told me about his father, my great-grandfather, or the corporal, as everyone in the village called him. And that's when I first heard about Joey, too.
"Swallows,"
Grandpa began, settling back in his chair. I knew I was in for a story.
"Now they must have been the very first bird I ever set eyes on. And that's funny, that is. My father, when he was a lad, he used to go round the farm seeking out all the sparrows' nests and crows' nests and rooks' nests. He'd pinch the eggs, see, and he'd get money for that, for every egg in his hat. It wasn't a lot, but every penny helped. Sparrows and crows and rooks, they was a terrible nuisance for the farmers. They'd soon get at the corn if you let 'em. Anyway, Father got himself into some trouble, and it was all on account of the swallows. He had a friend, I can't remember names, never could, but a school friend, anyhow, and this lad, he went and robbed a swallow's nest, silly monkey, instead of a sparrow's nest like he should have. Well, Father saw what he'd done, and he saw red. He gave him an awful licking, so the lad went home with a bleeding nose. Father went and put the swallow's eggs back. Next thing Father knows, the boy's mother comes round and boxes his ears for him, and he gets sent to bed without any tea. Not hardly fair when you think about it, is it? Anyway, putting the eggs back didn't do no good. Mother bird never came back. Father was always getting into scrapes when he was a lad. But the worst scrape he ever got himself into was the war, the First World War. And just like with the swallow's eggs, he didn't want to fight anyone. It just happened. This time it was all on account of the horse. See, he didn't go off to the war because he wanted to fight for king and country like lots of others did. It wasn't like that. He went because his horse went, because Joey went. Father was just a farm boy when the war broke out. 14, that's all. Like me, he didn't get a lot of schooling. He never reckoned much to schooling and that. He said you could learn most of what was worth knowing from keeping your eyes and ears peeled. Best way of learning, he always said, was doing. He was right enough there, I reckon. Anyway, that's by the by. He had this young colt. Broke him to halter, broke him to ride, broke him to plough. Joey, he called him. He had 4 white socks on him, a white cross on his forehead, and he was bay. Turned out to be his best friend in all the world. They had an old mare, too. Zoe, she was called, and the two of them ploughed like they'd been born to it. Which they was, I suppose. Weren't a team of working horses in the parish to touch them. Joey was strong as an ox and gentle as a lamb. Zoe had the brains, kept the furrow straight as an arrow. But it was Joey Father loved best. If ever he got sick, Father would bed down with him in his stable and never leave his side. He loved that horse like a brother. More, maybe. Anyway, one day, a few months after the war started, Father goes off to market to sell some fat sheep. In them days, of course, you had to drive them down the road to market. No lorries, nothing like that. So he was gone most of the day. Meanwhile, the army's come to the village looking for good sturdy horses, and they're paying good money, too. They needed all the horses they could get for the cavalry, for pulling the guns, maybe, or the ammunition wagons, ambulances, too. Most things...